Warren Buffett didn't become one of the richest people alive because he discovered a hidden formula or mastered some secret Wall Street trick. His true power came from something far simpler. It came from the slow, steady, almost invisible force of compounding. This is the same principle that turns a tiny seed into a massive oak tree over time. Buffett used that same principle to turn $10,000 into more than $100 billion. Yet, most people treat compounding as a boring concept they learned once and quickly forgot. They imagine wealth arriving suddenly, dramatically, and all at once. Buffett understood that real wealth rarely looks dramatic in the beginning. It looks slow, patient, and almost dull on the surface. Underneath that calm surface, however, something powerful is building. His relationship with compounding began when he was just a child in Omaha. At age 10, he walked into a small library and found a book that shifted the direction of his entire life. The book was titled 1,000 Ways to Make $1,000. One line in that book struck him like lightning. It said that if you learn to make money work for you, you will never have to work again. He realized he didn't want to trade hours for money forever. He wanted money that earned more money even while he slept. He imagined each dollar as a tiny worker that never got tired. At age 11, he bought his first stock and felt the thrill of investing for the first time. He purchased Citi's Service Preferred, 3 shares for himself and 3 for his sister. The stock dropped immediately, and fear pushed him to sell as soon as it bounced back slightly. Then he watched it skyrocket long after he sold. In that moment, he learned the painful but essential lesson that impatience destroys compounding. That lesson stayed with him for the rest of his life. Most people think Buffett became wealthy because he knows how to pick great stocks. The deeper truth is that he chooses businesses that allow compounding to continue uninterrupted for decades. He doesn't chase fast rewards. He prefers steady, unstoppable ones. Compounding needs time to work, and Buffett protects that time like treasure. First, he buys companies that have strong advantages and can't be easily replaced. These are companies like Coca-Cola and Apple that stay profitable through wars, recessions, and cultural shifts. Such companies generate cash year after year, and that cash compounds without being wiped out. Second, he looks for leaders who reinvest profits wisely. Reinvestment is the fuel that keeps compounding alive and growing. Third, he commits to an incredibly long timeline that most investors never have the patience to maintain. He thinks in decades, not months. He knows time is the most powerful force in finance. Compounding is not only about money growing, it is also about preventing mistakes from growing. Many investors panic, sell early, chase hype, and constantly reset their compounding back to zero. Buffett avoids debt because debt compounds too, but it compounds against you. He avoids speculation because it breaks the chain of compounding. He avoids overreacting to market fear because fear interrupts time in the market. He once said, "The stock market transfers money from the impatient to the patient." What he really meant was that every impulsive decision donates your future wealth to someone more patient. People often notice that most of Buffett's wealth came after age 60. They misunderstand what that means. He didn't suddenly become smarter. Compounding simply entered the explosive stage of its curve. For decades, his wealth crawled slowly, almost unnoticeably. Then it began rising with shocking speed. Compounding hides its power in the early years and reveals it only to those who survive the long wait. Buffett also chooses companies that compound internally. Coca-Cola is not just a business, it is a compounding engine. His investment from the late 1980s now pays hundreds of millions in dividends every year. Apple works the same way with its ecosystem, brand loyalty, and massive cash flow. He picks businesses that generate their own momentum. People still ask why everyone doesn't follow this strategy if it's so powerful. The answer is simple. Most people hate waiting. Compounding rewards patience and punishes restlessness. It requires calm during chaos and discipline during doubt. It asks you to trust time more than emotion. Buffett's habits reflect this philosophy perfectly. He reads for hours every day, compounding his knowledge the same way he compounds his wealth. He avoids hype, predictions, and noise because they distract from long-term thinking. He reinvests profits rather than spending them on lifestyle upgrades. He lives simply and quietly so that his mind stays steady and focused. Stability accelerates compounding because chaos interrupts it. Buffett's real genius is not spotting rare opportunities. His genius is ignoring the endless distractions that stop compounding from working. During bubbles and crashes, he stays calm while others panic. He bets on businesses that endure, not trends that fade. That long-term confidence allows compounding to work on a scale almost no one else experiences. He believes compounding applies to more than money. It applies to skills, relationships, knowledge, and habits. Every book you read adds to your mental compounding. Every disciplined action adds to your personal growth. Buffett applied compounding across his entire life, not just his portfolio. Imagine two people starting with the same amount of money. One trades constantly and reacts emotionally to every movement. The other stays consistent, reinvests profits, and lets time do its work. The second person almost always ends up richer, even with smaller early gains. That is the quiet power Buffett mastered. The truth is that anyone can use this principle. You don't need a fortune to begin. You just need time, discipline, and the patience to let compounding work. Buffett proved that compounding does not feel powerful in the beginning but becomes unstoppable in the end. The real key is staying in the game long enough to see the results. Most people break their compounding by quitting too early or constantly changing strategies. Buffett became a legend because he refused to interrupt the process. If this helped you rethink how wealth truly works, consider sharing it so others learn the same lesson. And remember that Buffett didn't win because he was the smartest. He won because he was the most patient. And that is a strategy anyone can copy.